Oh, there we go. Hold on a second. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've done a live stream. Greetings and salutations. Uh, it shows because I I haven't I didn't have my OBS set up right. And let's see here. Um, so if everybody can hear me, just throw some bacon in the chat, and then I'll know that everybody can hear me. By the way, Cam, that was a pretty funny joke there. I'd shoot you with my P1000, but I don't know how to focus it. That sounds pretty flat Earth to me. No, my mic wasn't in the off position. I had OBS on mute. I can't turn. I don't think I can turn them. I don't know how to turn the mic off on this headset. Bacon? Where? It's in the emojis. But it looks like everybody can hear me. So, good evening, everybody. I also read on here that other people are live right now, and I'm sorry about that. Nobody ever coordinates anything with me, so I just, yeah, I do what I do. And the so what we're doing tonight, I'm only going to do this for an hour and a half. I'm going to start it after my little lead in here. Um, as you can see on my screen, I have my Twitter feed, and this was the also the Twitter. I think this is the Twitter link that I put on down in the description here. And since last time I did this, we had messages on YouTube. YouTube had this the little messages thing as opposed to now they call it community, but people could actually write you messages and make posts on your YouTube channel. And but now that I seem to have amassed, well, a couple of idiots who know that I'm on Twitter, idiots meaning flat earthers. No, I'm kind of, well, I'll just say it like this. I'm going to use my Twitter to replace what was the messages thing and have anybody who's got their own proof. I do not want third party material. We've all seen all the third party material. Um, I want people to post their own proof, their own experiments, their own observations that they think actually proves the flat Earth. And I'm going to have the chat up in the window here for the majority of the time, unless I have something to display, then obviously it'll be blocked out. Um, just so nobody can say that they didn't, that they weren't addressed or anything like that. And um, I'm going to say hi to everybody there. I have a whole bunch of different people in here, but one person that I would like to, uh, I'd like to put a shout out to, uh, and I don't care about the previous things, but I'm going to say that my thoughts right now are with Sean Hufford. Sean Hufford just went through a uh, rather major surgery due to a lung issue that he had, and my thoughts are out there with him right now. And Cy Strikling, his girl, who is obviously remaining at his side and dealing with all the complications that are associated with that. Um, I just want to say that Sean, my thoughts are with you, and I wish you a speedy recovery to what you're going through right now, and look forward to having your voice back. Because when I heard your voice when you and I talked the other day, that was pretty terrifying for me because everybody knows your voice, and that was not your voice. You know what I mean? So, no, I don't send out prayers because, hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm atheist. Uh, I have not had a single prayer ever been answered. So, we'll just leave that at that. But anybody else who wants to send out prayers, obviously, I'm sure they are more than welcome. And if you guys would like details on Sean's condition, then make sure that you contact Cy Strikling directly because though he and I are great collaborators and we've been online friends for many years now and stuff, that's not my song to sing. So I will let her decide what it is that gets released about that information and what doesn't. Um, that's again, but I'm just letting you know that my thoughts are with you, Sean. I know you're listening, uh, and so yeah. But anyway, so here's where we're at. the I am waiting. I'm sitting here now. I'm probably just going to end up talking about various other crap that I see on Flat Earth. Um, but I am sitting here basically waiting for a flat earther to provide me their proof, which I will review right here live and give my answer to it, if not debunk for it, live right here. Okay? That's what the whole purpose of this is. So I'm going to go ahead and start the counter. Uh, like I said, I'm going to be finishing this at that time because it is 10 o'clock in the evening here. Right, well, it's 10:08 right now. Uh, and I live in an apartment building. I do have neighbors, so me running my mouth uh, into the night is not exactly a welcome thing in Germany. So I'm going to go ahead and start this, and this is how much time flat earthers have to bring me some proof. Let's see here. Well, thanks RSCC, and what do you call it? So let's see here. You know what? Normally I don't do this, but let's see here. Um, that was a disgusting comment, so bye. Doop 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 doo doo. Let's see here. Now, some of you have watched my recent video that I put out, the What Sly Has Done. I did that because in Twitter, unfortunately, everybody knows that Twitter has a character limitation. So, unlike my YouTube replies that I've done many, many, many times, which can be extensive because sometimes it takes a couple of words to explain something to somebody. Um, one of the things that uh, one of the things that gets a little bit annoying is, I mean, obviously, you're always going to get a flat earther coming back at you saying, oh, blah, 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 you haven't done any work on this and all this. You're just following NASA and all that other bullshit. Um, so I made that video just as a small summary of stuff that just as a small summary of some of the work that I've done. Um, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but what do you call it? I would say that I have a rather long list of research, analysis, tests, and stuff like that. And so far, I'm about 501. uh, Obviously, the bug test, we all know, didn't go very well. And I've been fighting for the opportunity to do Bug 2 and Bug Light. Um, Unfortunately, earlier this year, there was various other things that I had to attend to, and it was impossible to schedule it. But I still have all my equipment, so that will be coming. And I'm even looking at doing Bug Light at an alternate location in Mannheim, which is a little bit closer to where I'm at, instead of that 4-hour drive out to Bug. So let's see here. I thought this was a meet allegedly Dave and bring your own piss. Well, I was actually expecting in November of 2019 when I met up with the Globe Lie tour. That was hysterical. Um, I was expecting to meet up with some of the people that I had, some of the flat earthers that I had discussions with online. Um, like allegedly Dave, or at the time I thought that I think Ranty or Riley or any of them would have been part of this, but of course they weren't. I just ended up with that guy Trinity and some lost couple from Freiburg, and so it's there wasn't really much going on, and so I just had the discussion with them. Basically destroyed what they had going on on their banner and listened to their ramblings, but unfortunately, there was nothing produced. Nothing came out of it. And I still have part three, where uh, I had the long discussion with with the couple from Freiburg, and it took me a little while to actually compile the material that I wanted to do in response to that, because the fact that they actually spoke of but never produced a an observation that they had seen, and you know what, I saw the same observation. So the observation that they were talking about was true, but their description of it and what they thought it concluded was wildly false. So yeah, let's see. Mannheim, I used to live in that area. There was a time when I lived and worked in Ludwigshafen. Yeah, that's about that's about 30 minutes east of me. I'm in Kaiserslautern. So let's see here. But let's I guess I'll wander on to a couple other topics while we're waiting for anybody. And by the way, if there's any flat earthers that are listening right now, if you got a friend or a buddy who has done their done what they consider to be work on flat Earth, tell them to go ahead and post right here. The link, I believe, is in the description. Go ahead and tell them to post it right here, and I will hear it out. I will air it out right here on screen live. I mean, if you don't have your own stuff, I could sit here all day and call you a parrot and a sheep and just somebody who just believes what you were told. But whatever. Let's see here. Now would be a good time to insert ads. I'm not inserting ads. They can put one in the front and the back like they always do, and I don't care. Let's see. Creators earn more money inserting ads. I don't care. Sorry. Little pop-ups from YouTube. Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Don't know if this counts here, but here is Eric Dubay admitting curve. Please give me some kind of a link to that. I'm unaware. Um, I always get Eric Dubay's followers, but whatever. What's up, Earther's Life? What's going on, man? But so let me go. Let me go ahead and just. I kind of threw together a couple of little topics here that I could talk about to kill the time. Let's see here. First of all, oh my God, I'm on Twitter. I get so tired of hearing this. The whole putting a water on a ball, saying that it doesn't stick to a ball, is just so annoyingly stupid. Okay, that is the stupidest claim that has ever been around flat Earth, ever, at all, completely. And I use this analogy when I respond to those people. If you took a refrigerator magnet and you had a washer, just a regular metal washer that would normally be attracted to it, and you stood next to an industrial grade magnet from like a scrapyard, and they turned that sucker on, and you let go of that washer, where's it going to go? Is it going to go to the refrigerator magnet, or is it going to go to the industrial magnet? That is why the whole ball or water doesn't stick to a ball when they put it on a tennis ball, a racquetball, I don't care what kind of ball. And that's why it falls off. Because the attracting properties of that particular ball that you are holding in your hand is no match for the attracting properties of the damn earth. Period. Y'all need to really stop using that. That's just so stupid. So, well, I guess that was a little shorter than I thought it was going to be. It's just stupid. But here's a logic thing. Here's a logic thing, because another wonderful thing that I hear a lot about, and I don't know why you guys are still going on about it. You guys meaning flat earthers. Let's see here. Check the one and only clip on my channel. Okay, I'll take a look at that in a little bit here, man. Just put a link in my in my Twitter if you're able. If not, then I'll take a look at it here in a little bit. Another popular, rewarmed and just boring ass claim is the rockets need to push off the atmosphere, and that's why they don't work in a vacuum. Well, aside from that being a chemistry discussion, it has nothing to do with not being able to fire, um, which is part of their argument. They say there's no oxygen in space, so therefore how can it burn and blah blah blah. But there's an interesting logic that needs to be addressed here that nobody ever addresses, and I don't know why they don't. And the logic is this: if you say that because there's no atmosphere in space, rockets have nothing to push off of, then you have made a statement there, a logical statement there that says that rockets need to push off of the atmosphere. It's how do I put this? You have to prove that is a requirement. I mean, just having the atmosphere in proximity to the engine bell and stuff like that does not mean that it's pushing off of the air. It's just air is there. You know what I mean? And so anytime somebody makes a claim like that says that an absurdity has to be uh, recognized, or an absurdity has to occur before something else, then that absurdity it has to be proven first. Period. So the whole thing about rockets need to push off of the atmosphere, you need to prove that rockets push off of the atmosphere. Exactly, rockets push off of their own gases. I even did a video on it, and and I did it. Ironically enough, I did it with propellers, but propellers that weren't pushing backwards. It was showing that expanding gases hitting the engine bell propels the car that I built for it forward. Period. And so I mean, so all that discussion and stuff. If you are going to make a claim that this doesn't work because it needs to that, then you need to prove that it needs to that first. And I had a guy that I was going back and forth with, and he seemed to have a car garage that he worked in, I believe. And if not, it was a personal garage because he had some car stuff on there, and it was nice cars, by the way. And and I told him, I said, all right, if you want, you have to prove this to be true first. So I said, take your compressor, because it looked like he had a compression drum for compressed air for whatever he was using it for. I said, take your compressor, charge it up, put the hose on the ground, and then put a vise on the hose just enough to hold it, but obviously not block it off. And start to release the air so it thrusts a little bit forward, and then put your hand close to that thrust. Because if you put your hand close to that thrust, then you have actually increased the mass of air at that exhaust point, and it should, if it's pushing off of the air, it should move faster or move further away, in relation to your hand. But if it doesn't, then nothing is pushing off the air to create thrust. Period. So I get so tired of those stupid arguments. And this goes back to something that we were saying way back in the beginning of this stuff. And everybody was like, "Oh, what's the harm in letting people believe this stuff?" This is the harm. Is that it continues, it perpetuates, it keeps on going, and people run around with these stupid claims that are repeated by other flat earthers, and some of them just out to make money off of you, and they just keep on going, and they keep on going, and it creates basically a dent in progress. It takes a tooth out of the gear when you're trying to get everything to move forward and you have people believing this shit. So Let's see. If I can just push off the atmosphere, a rifle would have more recoil when you hit a target. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So enough of the rockets with it. Rockets and atmosphere and all that crap. Another subject I want to talk about, and this is actually something that's a little bit closer to everybody's requirements, and that is the oh my god, I am so tired of seeing that stupid oil rig picture claiming that it is a black swan against the globe Earth. Um, there is a requirement for a black swan. Actually, there's a requirement for something to even be determined as scientific. Okay. And the requirement for a black swan, okay, which is the nickname that's being given to the term called falsifiability. And there's a requirement to falsifiability that the same conditions in both the original claim and the quote unquote falsified claim, which is the black swan, meaning proven it wrong, the conditions have to be identical. Otherwise, it's literally two different claims. It's not one claim debunking another claim or disproving it or anything like that. It is a totally separate claim. And I get so tired of all of these echoing parrots who just want to keep on hitting with the same thing, saying, oh, this just debunks the globe. No, it doesn't. And it's not a black swan either, in any way, shape, or form. Let's see. If you say black swan enough times, it actually makes the earth flat. Let's see. Black swan. The, the Blake swan is the black swan killer. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what that means. But, and I had posted a thing on Twitter that had basically shown two different pictures of a swan. One was a swan in perfect daylight, a white swan on a lake, normal standard swan picture. We've all seen them. And then I showed another one with the sun setting behind it. And this was actually also another photograph by a photographer, a wildlife photographer, and but the swan was in silhouette. Well, the question is, and this is actually a legit question, because the silhouette of that swan is black and you don't see any portion of it being white, does that institute that you have proven the existence of a black swan? Which is what the whole falsifiability thing is about. Now, the response to that is obviously no, because the conditions are different. The lighting's different, the position is different, all that other stuff. And in the case of the oil rigs picture, the weather is different. There's an increased amount of refraction, which we all love to point out on that boom that sticks out on the side of it, and it's all wavy and stuff. I'm sorry, that is not the same conditions as the similar pictures that show the more distant uh, oil rig actually being halfway below the horizon or a portion of it below the horizon. Those are not the same conditions. So if those same conditions are not being met, even though you're photographing the same things, then it is not and does not in any way, shape, or form, according to the rules abided by science, it is not a black swan. Period. What's up, John? And so it does not meet the criteria of falsifiability. It does not meet the criteria of repeatability or reproducibility. So therefore, it is not a black swan. Period. End of story. Now, if you found me one that looks similar to the one that is showing one of the oil rigs beyond the horizon and cut off at the bottom, which is not a result of anything other than the curvature of the earth. Hallelujah. then there's no then it doesn't qualify. Period. If the structures are not appearing somewhat the same or anything like that, it doesn't qualify at all. Period. Not even a little bit. Let's see. Little professor has arrived. Okay. And so it's just listening to that stuff is just so stupid, and it gets repeated and repeated and repeated. Right now it's kind of funny. Flat earthers love to claim that they do all this research, which they don't. They don't research stuff that speaks against it, or excuse me, not even speaks against it, but actually disproves it. They don't speak about that. They don't speak about, they don't research even their own flat earthers claims. They just kind of stick to the one that convinced them, you know. And let's see. Has anyone posted any proof yet? No, Mr. X and Mr. Y. I have not seen anything. Let me go ahead and refresh this. And nope, nothing new yet. Nothing at all yet. But and for any flat earthers that are watching, this is on my Twitter account, and it is the pinned tweet. If you wish to reply to it with anything that I have, or that you have performed, that you would like to somehow stump me uh, and convince me that it is flat Earth. The oh, where was I going? I went on with something else there. But oh yeah, flat earthers doing research. I've probably had and it's probably annoying the people that are in the thread that I'm in. I've probably posted this one picture of a uh, of a high altitude balloon footage of Lake Erie from uh, from Rob Skiba, and flat earthers who don't even do their own research don't know that it's from Rob Skiba. And I've had people say fisheye lens, photoshopped, and various other. One person just likes to use the word trickery and all this. I mean, it's like, geez, any word from Dave? Dave who? I have not heard anything from anybody named Dave. What's up, Reds? The So and I keep on posting the same picture to them. I mean, nobody. We all know that nobody debunks flat Earth better than flat Earthers. Whether it be photography, for example, like Ranty, or various other things. It doesn't matter what's shown. It's just you need to make sure that you use the proper tools and the proper measurements to actually define what you're looking at. And so I keep on showing Lake Erie because everybody says water doesn't curve, blah blah blah. And and since they keep on saying that water doesn't curve, I show them Lake Erie bending as provided by Rob Skiba. And but I don't tell them it's from Rob Skiba. All I do is say, here's water curving. And I give them all the data of the flight, the 47-degree field of view, 100,000 feet, using a non-distorting lens and a gimbal on the camera. And nobody but I even get flat earthers doubting flat earthers. I love to use flat earth provided information to show other flat earthers that they are wrong based on even work that was created. Oh, Dave Weiss. No, I haven't heard anything from Dave Weiss. He seems to have run very far away from my challenge to him regarding his app. But and despite having me having two failed attempts to try and prove my side of it, I still have two more I can do. So so I'm not terribly worried about that. But yes, Mr. Dave Weiss, aka Dearth, aka Sun Filter Failure, um, has that app out, and you guys saw the video that I made about it. It's nothing more than how to make money. And this is a guy who has made about $165,000 estimated off his app, and and complains about the fact that a trip to Antarctica costs 11K. I mean, you do the math there. And they can, and his one of his things was, oh, they take you out to just this little tip on the end of, hey, thanks, Earth is life. Let's see here. It's funny how they claim that the black swan isn't refracted, but then claim seeing buildings obstructed is due to refraction. Yeah, it's always back and forth like that. Oh, well, the reason why you can't see Chicago is because of the fact that the water is bowed up in the middle. But then in the same breath they say water doesn't curve. It's like, dude, make up your mind, you know. And I totally agree with the Earth is life. You know, they'll say that, you know, this isn't refracted because it fits my narrative, but then they'll turn around and when they see something that's basically got very little to no refraction on it, like any of the ship pictures, red stuff over in Clearwater, you know, anybody else's stuff, they're just like, oh, that's all refracted. It's like, pick one, man. You know, refracted images cause distortion in the image, whether it's inverted, whether it's split in half, whether it's stretched. As soon as you got stuff like that, I put out a video a long time ago, and people, even flat earthers were just like, "Oh, look, he's on board with us." I put out a video a long time ago that specifically said that low-level images and footage are worthless in this entire discussion. They are completely worthless. And the reason why they're worthless is because of the fact that there's so much crap going on across the surface of water in varying different temperatures and all that other stuff, that it's just it's there's so much stuff that, you know, an actual scientist who's doing atmospheric studies or light studies and stuff, they would find that totally interesting. But in the discussion of flat Earth versus globe Earth, it's completely worthless. Especially when you look up just a little bit higher and stuff, and everything is to its proper, you know, size ratio, depending on its distance, and they completely forget about all about it. And just like that, also with laser tests. You know, laser tests across the surface of water are useless after maybe about 500 or 600 meters. They are useless. Any flat earther who has said, I've done a laser test, okay, you show me how you bullseyed a target across your 15, 20, 30, 50 kilometers. Show me that you bullseyed a target. Because I'm telling you, you didn't. So therefore, the only reason why you used a laser was to sound cool, because the same I see it from a different from a distance can be accomplished with a high power flashlight. So you don't even need a freaking laser, because the only reason why people hear laser is because they think of, you know, pinpoint precision and, you know, high power, you know, straight line and all this. That's what people think of when they think of laser, so they get all excited about it. But, you know, just the beam divergence when it gets over to where it's over to its other end. I mean, Kavanaugh, the stuff was everywhere. That ice lake, it was just nothing more than it was just kind of like this aura of color. What do you call it? The who were the convex Earth people? It was like everywhere. They even said it's, look, it's up on the trees, it's down on the ground, it's you know, it's everywhere, and all this. If you cannot bullseye a target, then your laser test was useless. Useless in every form. Okay. Let's see here. What do I got here? What will happen in an hour and 1 minute. That's just a timer that I set for how long I'm going to be here. Um, because flat earthers love to say, "Oh, I presented something and you ran." No, I have an amount of time. That's it. Let's see here. Bedford level experiments. I would love that. Does anybody remember when flat earthers went out to reenact and redo the Bedford level experiment? I am going to pause for a second here because I think that was so hysterical. The Bedford level experiment was, flat earthers went out there, they hung signs, a whole bunch of people went out there, and basically it was nothing more than an excuse to go out and have a kumbaya campfire barbecue meeting. That's all it was. Because everybody out there who had a camera, to include the P900, which was top notch at that time, nobody had enough batteries. They sent this poor guy 6 miles in a kayak, and nobody has any footage of it, any of it at all. And and I'm just like, trying to imagine if that was me. If I went out and organized a large test, doesn't matter which one, and oops, show more replies. Oh, okay, cool. Eric Dubay admits curve. Okay, I'll look at that here close to the end of the day, or to the end of the stream. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see what that's about. But try and imagine if I brought that to you. In fact, to every flat earther who might be possibly listening to this, try and imagine if the stuff that you brought, you would accept if I said it proved the globe in quality, the amount of data. That's it's usually about observations. So the amount of data, whatever. What's up, Bodie? Um, try and imagine that I bring that to you as proof of the globe. Are you cool with it? I mean, really, are you cool with it? Because if you're not cool, if I had brought that particular footage or quality of imagery or quality of anything, whether it's third party footage or anything like that, if I brought that to you, if you wouldn't accept it, then you are actually requesting that other people accept a lower standard than what you would accept. And I'm sorry, that's dishonest. I'll look at anybody's footage and stuff, but if I come back with the exact same amount of footage and with the exact same level of lack of data, then if you're not cool with that, then I'm sorry. Then you're producing a double standard. So I guess that's all I'll say on that. Oh, what's up, Tommy? Let's see. No, you didn't miss anything yet, Tommy. Don't worry about it. You think any flat earthers have showed up? Nope. And again, if I have flat earthers listening, which I may or may not, if I have flat earthers listening, if you have somebody who has performed some kind of a test, somebody who has performed some kind of observation that they claim with data is is their proof of the Earth being flat, go get them. Tell them to post it on my Twitter. What's up, Norm? Oh wow, jeez, everybody's showing up now. It's like 2018 all over again. Yeah, no shit. But so I do have a couple of projects that I'm working on. They're kind of uh, what if type projects. I have an idea with a gyroscope that I'm entertaining right now. Um, I do not have obviously the $20,000 gyro that Bob had and Jaron lied about. Um, I don't have that obviously, but I modeled out their results. So either way, no. But I had an interesting thought the other day about a less expensive digital gyroscope that I bought from Amazon, and so I'm going to try that out, see how that goes. I got a couple of things that I'm working on. As a matter of fact, for anybody who's interested, let me go ahead and show this here. Now, I have an excessive amount of folders of footage, research, um, proposed ideas for videos, etc., etc., etc. I got all this shit, and these are just the ones that I well, there might be like one or two of them in here that I have done, but and just hadn't moved them over to the done folder yet. But yeah, I mean, we already know what's in the done folder. Hold on a second here. These are all the videos that I have done. And so it's just that, and some of them are just little ideas that I had about proofs, and we'll see what happens when somebody actually comes up and wants to ask about them. Then I might produce a video, but I mean I just got so much stuff. It's almost overwhelming. And let's see here. YouTube never sent a notice. Glad I didn't miss much. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe YouTube didn't send a notice because. Oh, here's another thing about censorship. Flat earthers and the whole YouTube censorship thing and stuff like that. What they claim is censorship. Um, y'all need to know that in most people's search results, I don't show up either. Why? Because technically, I'm a flat Earth channel. Because all the stuff that's on my stuff is caveated with flat Earth. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got here. What's up, Edison? Oh, what's up? Hold on. Norm, Sean, what's up? What's up? Let's see. Waxing half moon, aka first quarter. As many people as possible get an azimuth and an elevation. On what date? 7th of July. Okay. For anybody who didn't see this, it looks like Sable Eagle is doing a group hug here. The waxing half moon, aka the first quarter, at 2:14 UTC on 7th of July, which is 22:14 Eastern Daylight Time, on the 6th of July. As many people as possible get the azimuth and elevation of the moon, as well as your latitude and longitude. Okay, I'll get in it if shit 2 o'clock in the morning, man. Damn. Well, I'll get in on that. I'm also my my son is going to be in Spain for an upcoming trip, and one of the things that he and I were discussing is while he's there, there's going to be a full moon, and we were going to do another plumb line test like me and John Rollins did, um, versus the moon, versus the orientation of the moon, and I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, like I said, that's one of those things that weather has to be right in both locations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But that's going to be fun. We're going to have some fun with that. Oh, what's up, Jared? Okay, time to start over. No, this is just another bring your own proof, Jared. This is same thing that I did last time, and it'll probably have the same result as last time, where I made it open to everybody, open to every flat earther. Only this time using Twitter instead of YouTube messages, to see if somebody wants to produce a their own flat Earth proof and have it challenged online or live by me. And but so far, even though this has been up, let's see, for about 12, almost 12 hours now. Well, actually, almost exactly 12 hours. Really? Okay, yeah. This has been up for about 12 hours now, this invitation. And not even before the show did anybody post anything here uh, to contest flat Earth or contest the globe with their own work. Flat Earth proof, Flat Earth whiskey, 80 proof. Yeah, that sounds about right, dude. Let's see. Share a ton of your vids on TikTok. Flirts are multiplying exponentially on that platform. Yeah, I've been throwing a lot of TikTok videos recently in Twitter. And I'm just gonna say this. What do you call it? My Twitter presence. Damn you, Geistview. the I only became active. I've had an account on Twitter for like a long time because my other son wanted me on Twitter, and but I never really used it. And then Geistview came to me one day and said somebody's using your shit on Twitter. You might want to come over and intervene. And that was the birth of the fight between myself and Bev, aka Try Thinking, moron. And the no, actually not moron. He's officially been upgraded to just straight liar. And but I that was he invited me. Geistview told me to go over onto to Twitter to get involved in that, and I've been in the same thread ever since, and that's like 2 years now, and it's the same thread, and you still get the same idiot claims and the same idiot people who come in and it's just it is a mind suck. I'll say that. But let's see here. Harry Warp. Let's see. A Flurfer or two will have a 3 hour stream to discuss this one. Yeah, of course they will. Of course they will. See that's another joke. I get asked, what work have you done on this? What work have you done? What's your proof for this? And flat earthers cannot be bothered to watch my relatively short videos, let alone the longer ones that I have. I try and have all my proofs in short vids, unless it's part of a longer discussion or it's a live stream to like the plumb line test. And they can't be bothered with that. But then when you ask for what's your proof of flat Earth, they'll link you some 4 or 5 hour long discussion, which amounts to maybe nothing more than a couple of stone people just talking and saying they're right about stuff. Um, and it's like, come on, man. I mean, you watched 4 or 5 hours of that, and you want me to pick out one little sentence or one little picture out of that, and you can't be bothered to watch 2 minutes worth of work? I mean, come on. What's up, Globerzune? And what's up, Andreas? Pax Max? Let's see here. Seawater isn't carbonated, it's flat. I'll give you that one. Pack it up, guys. It's not flat. Or it's flat. But ah. And right now, I mean, everybody's. I don't know if. Well, obviously it's deliberate, but I don't know if flat earthers. I seem to remember one time that I was on a live stream with somebody. I think it was on Red's channel, and I was on a live stream, and and one guy was trying to say that drug addiction was mostly subliminal because the word needle has the word need in it. Now, while you're wrapping your head around that, um, one of the biggest things that I love is all these definition wars that are going on. I am so tired of definition wars. The level versus straight versus horizontal versus flat and all this. They're synonyms. Okay, they are not direct translations of each other. Period. That's just what it is. They're synonyms. And so one thing that I love pointing out is they're synonyms in English. And now English is a hybrid language of different languages. English is not its own primary language. It was not a locally developed language. It's a hybrid of French, German, and Spanish, or more appropriately, Latin. And so when you hear all these discussions about, level Earth, I just had somebody on Twitter try and tell me that horizontal Earth. I'm like, really? I was like, what does that even mean? Because it doesn't mean anything. I mean, truth be told, pictures. I know the cliche, a picture says 1,000 words, but pictures don't speak. Observations don't speak. So why are you trying to use words? I mean, if all you got is words, then I don't care. I mean, I really don't. So if somebody comes at me with, this claim or that claim and stuff, and they say you got to believe it, well, I'm sorry. Aren't you the one telling us not to believe something that somebody told you? You got to show me some work. So the whole definitions thing just drives me absolutely bonkers. Not because there's no contest against it, even though there isn't one, because it's just words, and somebody's interpretation of them kind of similar to, I'm sorry to say, but similar to the Bible. It's just somebody's interpretation of the words you're being told. But it's just like, come on, man. Oh yeah, plane and airplane, yeah. And I have another one who's saying that planet has plane in it. Um, I'm sorry. Planet means, well, the planetess or whatever actually means wanderer or wandering star, or whatever it was, and all this. That was before that. That was before anybody knew that that was a planet. As in meaning today's definition, a spherical body in a solar system. So I mean, it's like, really. Hor Wait, it's horizon, not curvizon. Yeah, Jesus Christ, I haven't heard that one yet. But I just get the definition war is stupid. It's I mean, it's stupid on every level. And hey, look, there's me using level. I should say flat. It's stupid on every flat. And the flat of these people's education is a whole new flat of stupidity. So, and got another person who's saying that surveying equipment measures from the ground up, meaning measures me, measures from a flat plane ground up to the line of sight of the device. So I mean, come on, man. I mean, at that point, you're like, well, then what the hell's the purpose of the device? And how would you use it maybe on a mountain? you know, it's it's bad. It's just bad. And but like I said, this is the fallout of what we were talking about so many years ago. This is the fallout. This is the damage that does. Is that people are allowed to walk around with this information. And I'm not talking about no fact check police or anything like that. I'm talking about just quite simply people are walking around with this, carrying it as if it's fact, even though your average middle schooler can look at them and say, "The fuck you talking about?" You know. Let's see here. Nothing on Earth, not man-made, is flat. Well, actually, I would disagree. There are plenty of flat surfaces, even found in nature. To be more specific, crystals, the edges of crystals. Um, those are they actually develop with flat surfaces. I mean, yeah, okay, if you went down to an electron microscope or something like that, of course it's going to have pits and valleys and stuff. But I would say that is one. I'm sure there's probably a couple of actually organic things that you could probably find that might actually have a flat surface to them. But even then, it makes no sense. Oh yes, you can't use a sextant. Yeah, that one's all over the place. And hey, McToon, why don't you send me one of your sextants? because I priced them online. They're a little pricey. Um, the whole thing about angles. Let's talk about angles and sextants. A sextant doesn't care what you use it for. I mean, it literally doesn't. It does not care what you use it for. Now, yes, you can. The primary use is to go from horizon to a star or the sun. Um, but there are even examples of you don't have to use it for that either. It's basically nothing more than an angle between 3 points. Point one being the observer, point two being typically the horizon, and point three typically the sun. And you get an angle from that. And in every single sextant manual, it has the dip calculations, the dip correction. Do I? Oh, I don't have it up anymore. Hold on a second here, because I just posted that somewhere here. Hold on a second here. Boop boop badoo media. What? How did I get logged out of Twitter? What the hell just happened? Hold on a second here. Do do do. But every single um every single manual has has dip corrections in it. As a matter of fact, here it is. I had posted this just a little while ago to some moron named Ken, and this is just a page out of a random. All I did was I looked up sextant manual PDF, and this is one of the ones that came up. And now they're trying to say, oh, well, we don't measure from the center of the Earth. Nobody's measuring from the center of the Earth. For the extension, sure, but this is just reminding the user that we're dealing with vertical here. That's all. That's all it's using. So, and but when it comes down to everything else, uh, angles don't care what you use them for. I mean, they literally don't. Let's see here. 1, 2, and then 3 here. Oh, okay. I guess maybe I wasn't logged in for a second there. I don't know what happened there. But what do you call it? Wish Sean all the best. Cool. And make sure that Strikeling passes that along. The so I'm just when I draw out angles on a compass or with a compass on a map, you know, it doesn't matter that I'm using a flat map because that particular surface is not part of the equation. If I point it at one location and I draw a line, point it to another location and draw a line, and get an angle from that, whatever that would be, it doesn't care where I'm getting that angle from and what I'm pointing that angle at. The angle is going to be the angle. I mean, it's just that simple. So all this discussion of can't get an angle off a curve and blah blah blah, and presuming the flat Earth and all. Come on, man, really? I mean, that's really all you got. So let's see here. Radiation proof duck suit, Nathan Thompson. I don't know what that's about. Oh, what's up, Sean? Shit, I didn't even see you up on. You must have just got here. Yeah. Man, you need to get your damn voice back. Morphine? Yeah. the You need to get your voice back, man, because that phone call I had with you, I was just like, dude, where'd his voice go? But that will all come back with time, man. And I assume you got the message I sent to your girl when she told me you were going into surgery, and I said, well, tell Sean not to fuck it up. But anyway, um, so Sean, you'll be happy to know that no flat earther has produced anything. So this is probably going to be one of those boring shows again, where all I do is sit here and talk and talk and talk and talk. But because flat earthers don't bring anything to the table. And by the way, you can also use this, just like we did last time, you can also use this as a scientific experiment. A scientific experiment in the fact that I have made an offer that anybody who has their own work to prove flat Earth to come to bring it. And guess what? The results of this experiment, as they did last time, will most likely show the same thing, and that is flat earthers don't have any proof to show. I mean, hell, we all remember what happened with Jaren's thing. I mean, forget Bob. Thanks, Bob, for proving rotation, by the way. But we all remember what happened with Jaren's thing. You know, Jaren had his big canal test that honestly we all thought was bullshit, or at least didn't take place because we were laughing at the fact that he said that the video will come out when the film crew releases it. And, you know, we thought that he was just kind of chest pounding, but, you know, admittedly, we were wrong. There was actually somebody there filming it, which became that documentary that they all hate. But as soon as Jaren, as soon as all that documentary came out, Jaren deleted all of the stuff for it, all of it. Every last post that he had about his canal test, all his invitations, all the footage the bits of footage that he had on both his channel and on Globebusters, from everywhere, because he did not want anybody to put two and two together on that. And so he could just turn around and say, well, they didn't show all the footage, and, you know, they were hiding the flat earth and all this. Even though somebody actually went on to, and I have a screen capture of it, somebody actually went on to Sean's channel, and I'm half tempted to believe it was actually one of the people who was associated with the film, and basically gave a blow-by-blow of what happened. It was a rather long post, all the way up to and including the part where Jaren said interesting about the flashlight portion. And I'm sorry, it was documented at that time. This was not after the fact, meaning like after the documentary came out. This was right after the test was performed. And Jaren went through and deleted all of the stuff. Now, I'm not talking about the part where he lost all the content on his channel. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to speculate what that was and all this. Maybe he just got tired. You know, maybe he just pulled a Riley and got tired of being called out on all his bullshit and hit the reset button. But like I said, that's speculation. That is not in any way based on fact, as far as Jarenism's channel is good. But before that, and I did a video showing it, he had actually deleted everything having to do with that thing, as if he never even participated in it. And then he made some mention of it on Globebusters, saying that the documentary folks were lying and all this other stuff, and you know, and just completely disowned himself from it. So it was hysterical. Let's see here. Well, Nathan Thompson's just a moron. Dangerous moron while we're at it. Somebody who would go over and harass kids at a fucking schoolyard. And I'm sorry, man. You know, if that does not display some kind of a mental disconnect, I don't know what does. Let's see. If you don't know what the duck suit of Nathan Thompson is about, you really missed out. Well, I'm going to have to take the 0 on that one because I don't know anything about it. Nathan Thompson ran from me a long time ago. And I guess just hasn't looked back. So, and back when we were able to search all this stuff on YouTube a little bit easier, yeah, we heard more about these odd situations. Let's see here. Yeah, the 15-degree drift, Tommy. The I loved that because I put Trinity on his heels on that when I met those guys in Frankfurt, and all this. He kept on kept on trying to convince me that a fiber optic gyro is some kind of a flow meter. Obviously, he didn't say those words, but that's the consequence of the what he was trying to convince me of, that it was detecting the movement of the ether. And I was just like, how are you going to detect three axes of motion of ether unless there's a vortex of ether right there where you're testing it? And he didn't have much of an answer for me on that. He jumped straight over to something like, well, what do you believe, and all this other stuff. And oh man, I mean, look, if there's an ether and somebody has a way to detect it, then detect it. Cool. See, this is the part that flat earthers don't get. True lovers of science are not afraid of being wrong. Don't get me wrong. We'll stand our ground until we're proven wrong, but are not afraid of being wrong at all, ever. And I've said this about 150 times now. People get tired of hearing it. But with all the work that I have performed over the past, what, 6 something years now, with all the work that I've done, you know, more than any other flat earther, if there was something awry or something amiss, I would know it before you did. Speaking to flat earthers, I would know it before you did. And you know what? I wouldn't need you at all. In fact, I would be pushing you out of the way so I can go bang on NASA's door or SpaceX's door. Okay? I wouldn't need you for that. I would be actually getting you out of my way, carrying my work with me, not just my opinion. Let's see here. So I mean, again, I can go all the way back to 2015 when I first set up my own personal test on the roof of my apartment building at the time, and yeah, I remember looking at my test stuff and saying, that this test is sufficient for me to know whether we live on an Earth that has a sun that's circling around the North Pole, or if we are on a rotating Earth. And I remember standing up there and I was just like, yeah, what's this going to do to me if this proves that? And now, obviously, here we stand today. It did not prove it. It proved the rotation of the Earth as it was supposed to, and and that's basically it. I mean, there are such some. I put out a slide the other day on my Twitter that basically said, I don't care what you think about NASA, gravity, quantum mechanics, orbits, the lunar landings, Mars, pressures, vacuums, and all that stuff. I don't care about any of that. Because if they can't even define how the sun sets across a plane, then yeah, there's nothing else to say. Am I reading this? What am I reading here? Finding Flat Earth 2 from Reckless Ben. Let's see. Tommy's standard FLIRF defense is defense mechanism. Any info which contradicts their beliefs is reflexively ignored by simple labeling of the provider. Oh yeah, shit. I get troll, shill, bot, paid, um, all that crap. I get all that. Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. That was obviously one of my misinterpretations. Not just being another keyboard warrior. So I went out there doing my homework the hard way. Yeah. Anybody who actually does their work, you know, and I've been also challenged. I mean, all props to any of the flat Earth hosting shows. Um, you know, non sequitur, uh, uh, fight the flat Earth, McToon, and all them, who actually bring on the people who just talk the talk. I mean, cool. If you're all we do, yeah, that's the Hubble Deep Field on my background there. The I have no I have no interest in the talk. As a matter of fact, the talking part is what actually frustrates me. It frustrates me to the point of knowing that the person that I'm talking to is stuck on a belief, and I cannot reach through my screen to smack them because all you're going to do is argue words over and over. Now, if this was a philosophical discussion, then obviously words would be the medium of debate. This is a debate about the physical shape of a physical object. It's pretty simple in that context. And if you're not going to bring, that's why I keep getting challenged for these debates. Oh, and thanks a whole lot, Red, for for saying, oh yeah, by the way, that debate's gonna be had on my channel. The I I don't have the verbal debates, and I put out a couple years ago. I put out a thing called the debate call, which outlined my requirements, my criteria for a debate. And guess what? Still to this day, nobody. We had the one initially there. What was his name? Waldo, Waldy. Well, I don't remember his name. The guy who didn't think that Sunday meant Sunday, and what do you call it? He was one of the Salton Sea guys, and it's just like, come on, bring some work. Don't tell me that you just got caught up on what somebody told you on YouTube. And yes, I post on YouTube, so that sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. I'm talking about people who just talk on YouTube. They tell you everything's a lie. They tell you that, there's some secret organization. Uh, Everybody else who challenges you is part of a controlled opposition, which funny enough, they even say about their own people if they happen to get away from flat Earth. So, pixel image. No, my wallpaper's not that large. Mine was a slightly lower resolution one, but I wanted a background on my computer. I got tired of looking at the black part, so I put a deep field on there. Why does Smack'em remind me of NCIS? I don't know. I don't watch the show. Yeah, Rob Skiba was controlled opposition because he died of COVID. Yeah, just like Mad Mike Hughes was not a real flat earther, even though there were discussions on both sides of that, uh, because he died. But even then, I even remember the disgusting talk after that, uh, when I think it was even Bob from Globebusters was saying that Mad Mike Hughes didn't die, and it was some kind of a cover up and some kind of a whatever. What's up, Dave? Well, you've missed a whole lot of me talking, waiting for somebody to provide flat Earth proof. That's what you missed. But oh man, let's see. Something else that I've been contemplating working on is sourcing the claims that flat earthers make. In other words, I mean, everybody knows that flat earthers like to come up with these just wildly outrageous topics. I got another guy right now who's trying to tell me that jet airplanes, because they're made of metal, fly apparently having something to do with the magnetic field around the Earth, some kind of crap like that. The thing is that um, I want to see if I can draw sources to what somebody is actually trying to claim. For example, um, one of our favorite flat Earth claims is the transparent moon, and I love the claim of the transparent moon. Obviously, there's nothing that supports it, day or night. But they try and claim transparent moon, Now you would say, you know, people will go into that for hours or days, especially on Twitter, uh, going into the greatest details of debunking that particular claim. But what people are not realizing is that what is the root claim behind that? And in the root claim behind that is kind of like what I was talking about earlier with rockets, is that you have to prove uh, the claim that you're making as the cause. You have to prove the cause before you can make something else. And in this case, obviously, the transparent moon is a discussion about the dome and how the waters above, which are supposedly responsible for making the sky blue when lit up during the daytime, we're seeing that blue through a transparent moon. And but I had to kind of put somebody in their place about it the other day, and I was just like, well, here's a picture from the Felix Baumgartner capsule, where he went up for his second jump. I was like, here's a picture of that. The blue is below him, so are you saying he's jumping from higher than the moon? Because that's you have to find out what the root is of what it is that they're trying to claim. Because all these other discussions about gravity, orbits, quantum physics, and all this other stuff, it's like, dude, where are you going with this? I mean, what are you really trying to, discuss? So, let's see, Jake the asshole is claiming Rob Skiba is alive. Well, not to say that I'm his neighbor or anything like that, but no, I'm quite certain that 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 he's gone. Otherwise, we'd have heard something by now. I mean, as deep as he was with the Bible, even claiming his resurrection would probably be a thing by now. Let's see here. Definitions: fast equals speed, fast equals fixed. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Most of Eric Dubé's videos are plagiarisms of Robotham, Carpenter, and others. Yeah, no, all of this stuff is it. Even the more popular ones, they're just echoed off of other stuff. So let's see here. Correct. You don't see the sky through the moon. You see the moon through the sky. I mean, try and imagine this. We have some, I mean, some of the people who follow me are amateur, if not the high end of amateur astronomers. You can't tell me that it wouldn't be even a sport among astrophotographers to try and get a picture of the moon uh, with the dark side of the dark portion of the moon uh, and their favorite stars in favorite constellations or even nebulas. I mean, can you imagine what it would look like if you had like the Orion Nebula mixed with the moon? That would just look cool as hell. But the I mean, that would be a competition, even not even in the discussion of flat Earth versus globe Earth and stuff. People would be doing that all the time, and just the non-existence of that tells you a lot. Let me see here. Refresh this. Nothing new. Oops. I'm going to look at this here. Hold on a second here.
When considering this footage, is that the curvature is not at all uniform, as it must be on a globe. Instead, there is almost no apparent curvature in the foreground, and far too much curvature appearing in the background near the horizon.
Oh, damn. Well, then I will hold on a second. Let me go ahead and play this. This is that's Dubé's voice as far as I can tell. Hold on a second here. I don't know if anybody heard that, so I'm gonna put my desktop audio on. I'm gonna turn my mic off.
When considering this footage, is that the curvature is not at all uniform, as it must be on a globe. Instead, there is almost no apparent curvature in the foreground, and far too much curvature appearing in the background near the horizon. If you trace a circle, completing when considering this footage is that the curvature is not at all uniform, as it must be on a globe. Instead, there is almost no apparent curvature in the foreground, and far too much curvature appearing in the background near the horizon. When considering this footage is that the curvature is not at all uniform, as it must be on a globe. Instead, there is almost no apparent curvature in the foreground, and far too much curvature appearing in the background near the horizon. If you trace a circle completing the curve in these pictures, it is clear that they cannot be showing the curvature of a globe nearly 25,000 miles in circumference.
So that's awesome. So water curves according to Eric Dubay. So we can go ahead and run with that all we want. Oop, I saw some people yelling here. Hold on a second here. Okay. Ship model basins would be a good place to see the curved water. Shame I don't have access to one anymore. Okay, I thought that was something else. Let's see. The absence of flat Earth proofs speaks volumes. Yes, that that is Eric the scumbag. Yeah. How's the European heat? Oh man, that heat wave sucks over here, man. Now it just today was just like terrible. It was humid as hell. It was hot as hell. But the clouds moved in, and a nice cool breeze came through, so I was able to open up the windows again. So everybody feel free to use that Eric Dubay self-debunk. It was a clip of actually one of his own videos. Um, I didn't know you could do that. That's kind of cool. Clips. But it's actually on his own channel. All I needed to know. As a matter of fact, I want to use that because I got some real Dubay fans on Twitter right now. Well, I don't know about it hitting 50 in Germany. Germany hitting 50, I think that would be catastrophic. But it was definitely in the 30s today. For those of you who speak another language, that's Celsius. Let's see here. Yeah, why would there be curvature at all on flat Earth? Exactly. That's the whole thing. You know, when I show, well, I'm fairly certain. I'll come back to it, but I'm fairly certain that none of this is going to happen anymore. So when I show, hold on. And by the way, for anybody who notices, yes, I actually do have a second Twitter account, but I don't use it for anything other than to send messages to myself, like screen captures and links and stuff, making them a little bit more easily available than going through my feed. But hold on a second, where is it? Um, I love when people say that water doesn't curve, but then I made this slide. This is just a capture from Rob Skiba's videos. So showing Chicago, or showing Ellis Tower or Willis Tower. Um, I'm sorry. Wouldn't this be curved water? I mean, think about it. Let's see, Skydog. Hey, old friend. Check the videos on my channel. Been posting recordings of Brazilian Navy on Brazilian Navy satellites, an amateur radio repeater on the ISS. Use whatever you want. Okay, well, I'll take a look at that. And I did just find out that you can you can buy these little USB radio receivers for your computer and put it on an antenna, and you can catch some of the stuff of the ISS when it flies over. Haven't decided if I want to go there yet, but let's see here. Mike Cage, thanks for the live stream. A Flurf isn't going to show up, but it's great entertainment while doing an oil change. Nice to know I was good background noise for you, man. But the that water is flat. Yeah. But no, I just it's and then of course there's the flights thing, and I didn't know a Dreamliner could do almost Mach 4, but okay. And this is the piece of uh, the screen capture of footage from Rob Skiba's thing, and this is Lake Erie here, curving 4.4 degrees. Everybody remembers that stream. Skiba was mad as hell when I did that stream. Uh, no, that was just some idiot driving through New Jersey. And yes, I did work with satellites. These were dishes that were out in the back of my facility in Doha, Qatar. And I can guarantee you that the Qataris were not broadcasting our information over ground-based towers. So use that for what you think. Let's see here. Oh yes, and for those who debate Bible believers, again, I do not contest people's beliefs. I really don't. I am atheist. I do not have a belief in God. But um, but if you're going to come at me with God, then you have to be able to answer this question. In the three temptations of Christ, according to the Bible, Jesus was tempted by the devil 3 times. Once in the wilderness to turn rocks into bread, then atop a temple to jump down unharmed, and finally on the mountaintop with Satan, uh, where he was tempted to rule all the kingdoms of the world. I was actually going to do an animated thing on this, and I'm still tempted to do it. It's got the voices of me, Sean, Reds, uh, uh, Geo, and Soundly playing all the characters that were involved. And but on here it says Matthew 4.8, book 4, verse 8 says again, the devil took him up to an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all of the kingdoms of the world and all their glory. Well, the mountain that he took him to the top of was Mount Quarantine. Quarantine, it's kind of odd. Otherwise known as the Mount of Temptation, next to Jericho in Jerusalem. This is agreed by Bible scholars that where this has occurred. Well, the funny thing is that mountaintop, as prominent as it is in that location, is only 366 meters tall. And you want to tell me that you saw all of the kingdoms of the world from 366 meters? By comparison, the Empire State Building observation deck is 381, and observers can't even see Baltimore. So I put this little bubble on here. It says I can't even see Nazareth from here. Because, no, you can't. So that's one for your Bible flat earthers. Let's see here. Let me go back to the thing here. Did I have anything else on here? Oh yeah, and the what do you call it? We've only been studying the globe since NASA was created. Okay. Well, this is from the what do you call it? Hampton Institute, Hampton, Virginia, and it's also in the Library of Congress. This was from 1899. Now, please don't read anything into my words here, but in Virginia, and I'm going to point out the fact that we are looking at people that are not white, except for the teacher, being taught about even in the what was considered to be inferior education that was given to people of color, we were still taught about the globe, and this is in 1899. Okay, a class in the mathematical geography study of Earth's rotation around the sun. This is on their page. And if that was being taught like that, all the all those other discussions about oh, you know, it wasn't in any textbooks and stuff like that. Come on, really? And then let's see. Okay, that was just some idiot who absolutely loves the dog cam video. And let's see here. And then this is my favorite globe Earth proof right here. The sun is observed to traverse the sky at 15 degrees per hour from any location on Earth. This proves that the Earth is rotating, the sun is a great distance away, and the flat Earth is bullshit. It's that simple. Not a single flat earther has been able to contest me on that fact. That is the easiest proof that the Earth is not flat. Because if you have something circling above you and you are not dead in the center of it, just like all the discussions about the EQ mount, just like all the discussions about sextants, sextants in use of navigation, this right here is impossible on flat Earth. It's absolutely impossible just because of the proximity that the sun has to gain to any observer and then also depart from any observer throughout the course of the day. It's absolutely impossible. So let's see what we got here. Go back over to here, go over to here. And I still have no contestants for today's show. Let's see here. That's where you're wrong. Just ask Gary. Yeah. You mean the guy who tried to lie about something that I said by using a non-distorting lens to say, look, it doesn't distort the way Sly says. Moron. Let's see. What else? Did I miss anything here while I was running my mouth here? Yeah, the flood fairy tale. There's actually discussions in the scientific community of what that flood actually was. Like I said, I'm not even going to have that discussion though because that's all biblical stuff. Let's see here. Yep, 5 minutes left. Yeah, no, it's 3 minutes now. And let's see. Show me your flat Earth map. Exactly. Show me one map that works. Show me one model that works. And if you accept the idea that oh well not all flat earthers believe the same things, if you accept that idea, all of your critical thinking skills just went out the window because that should be telling you all by itself. What's up, Rick? That should be telling you all by itself doesn't exist. Because if y'all can't even agree on some of the simplest things, it would be one thing if, let's say, me and another globe earther get into a fight. Let's say me and Reds get into a fight, and I say that uh, the Earth is, 40,075 kilometers in circumference, and he says it's 50,000 or something like that. We would actually get into the work fight of that. Well, tell me how you got that, and tell me how you got that. But flat earthers don't even check each other. I've even demonstrated that a couple of times in Twitter feeds. They don't even check each other. I said, you realize this guy just told you that, video footage is not admissible as proof of something, and then you got another guy saying that photos are not admissible. I want to see video and all this, but they won't even check each other. So, cha. Let's see here. I can recommend Tommy Grunwald. Oh, I know. Well, Tommy made me look really silly when it came to using, what was it? Uh, Google SketchUp, I think it was. I had no clue how to use it because I was trying to find a platform to that everybody could use, and then I would start using that for my debunks. And but I found an easier one. It's called Gmax, and it is a watered down version of 3ds Max that was originally developed for games, and you can still get it on a website called TurboSquid, um, and to do all your measurements on. Tell me one flat earther who has given you the answer that when I'm in Europe during the equinox, when I'm in Europe and somebody's in South Africa and we're both looking at the sunset at the same time, aside from the fact that we are not looking in the same azimuths on flat Earth, how is it that they can see 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers further than I can to that same sunset? It just doesn't work. But, oh, well, let's see here. Somebody's watching MASH. Hey, Earth's Life, thanks, man. Whoops. And there's the alarm. So that was an hour and a half. And not one single flat earther came forth with anything. Well, I guess that's an experiment in itself, as I stated before. People have known about this. I have several followers who are flat earthers, whether on YouTube or on Twitter, and not one of them came forth with anything. That in itself is a scientific result. Let's see. Southern Hemisphere flights between Johannesburg and Sydney specifically are an easy debunk for flat Earth. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And they say these routes don't exist. Dear flat earthers, just because two airports exist does not mean that there's a routine route between them. It all comes down to demand. And most of the places that do these flights, they do have, 2 and 3 stopovers in different places that are more popular and money making destinations for the airline. Doesn't mean though that the flights don't exist. I recommend you use sites like FlightAware. FlightAware will list you sites by destination to destination, as opposed to looking it up on like I don't know any number of travel services, because those travel services might not be servicing those flights or being paid by those airlines. Let's see. Turtle Moon. Uh, Looking at northeast instead of southeast. Yeah, looking in the wrong direction. Yeah, I remember when Subarats did that. Was trying to convince everybody that we were seeing Polaris from Chile, and a quick little map out of the area that he was looking at, and come to find out it was uh, they were looking south at the southern celestial pole. So let's see here. All right. So as promised, this was only going to be an hour and a half long, and I appreciate everybody listening to me just running my mouth for an hour and a half, because unfortunately that was a burden that we all had to bear because of the fact that flat earthers didn't come with anything. Almost to be expected, because flat earthers do not have any proof that the earth is flat. All they have is, oh, the globe lies and NASA lies and there's some elite they and all this other crap. Nothing has changed. It's been the same way since we started this. It's just that there used to be a time where people were actually tried to prove their claims, tried to actually perform experiments and all this, only to find out that most of them lied about their experiments, lied about their observations, uh, or the experiment that they thought was proving something wasn't really proving anything. So, but anyway, ladies and gents, it is now past 11:30 here, and so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. There are going to be, I believe there's checkout with non sequitur. There's going to be, I think, Reds and McToon at a undesirable uh, time of night here in Europe. But go ahead and check those out. I think that's coming up tomorrow, um, and various other ones like that. And go ahead and meet me on Twitter if you want to, or chat me on YouTube. I'm gonna have a couple more things coming out here slowly over the next couple of days or couple of weeks, and see if I can rattle a couple more cages with some more of the stuff that I just have never put into a video. So all in all, let's see. Putting water on a ball is stupid. If you have rockets that need to push off the atmosphere, then you have to prove that they push off the atmosphere. Black swans are not black swans if the same identical criteria is not met between the two observations or the two claims. So those oil rigs, oh my God, just so done with that. Angles when using sextants or angles when using angles, period, do not care about the surface that you are standing on. They are between 3 points, the observer and two distant points to create an angle. It doesn't matter if the Earth is whatever in that. Definition wars are stupid. Anybody who's arguing definitions in one single language, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. And to any extent that you decide to drag that out, you just display more of that idiocy. Let's see, and yeah, that's all I got for tonight, guys. So I hope you all enjoyed it. And like I said, everybody send your well wishes to Sean on a speedy recovery from his surgery. And hi to everybody else. And Earth's still a globe. No lie ever told in all of history will ever change that. Whether it was a lie on the globe side or a lie on the flat Earth side. Lies do not change the physical shape of objects. So, ladies and gents, thanks for hanging out with me for a little while, and we'll talk to you again soon. Y'all have a nice night.